probably shouldn't start this video sideways or whatever. This school on Wednesday, the 30th of March 2022. No, I have not seen Moon Knight yet. Normally, I don't like saying this, but I will watch it on Sunday. And if I like it, it'll be every Sunday. So, I go in and the taxi just will not appear. So, eventually, I say to the guy who gets the taxi with me, I say, screw it, I'm calling class. And I go to foreign class for like a minute. I said that wrong, it was 5 seconds, but exaggeration, about a minute. And then the substitute form teacher gets a phone call, goes, Don, yeah, he's here. Don, your taxi's here. Oh, for God's sake. So I go and yeah. And the only thing is that there wasn't anything for me to do. Although time sort of flew by a bit. But while I was there, I finished Volume 1 of Cable vs. Deadpool. Maybe it's because it wasn't much of a comedy, because Deadpool was sort of brainwashed, I guess, for most of it. I didn't like it. Wasn't really that funny. And I also read Midnight. I need to start putting... It's really hard to... Right. So, in yesterday's video, I read Midnight and Adventures of Midnight. That was fine. But this one is also just Midnight. So it's been about 40 minutes. But in yesterday's video, I read the 7th, Volume 7. I think I've explained it by volume. I mean, the 6th reboot. Then Volume 7 is what I read yesterday. Today I read Volume 6. And it's good. I think that's it. So, actually I think I said overall. Yeah. So, this meme's as of 18 past 8 p.m. This might be a bit understandable just because it's old, but yeah.
Do that in this world, man. You can't do that in this world, man. Arsenio, they got rules. They got rules. Like, he has a rule. The bass player, he got...
Okay, you probably can't hear it because it's probably ear ribbing. I need to stop saying probably, but... it's probably ear ribbing, so I apologize. So I've turned it down a bit. It's down about halfway. Because when you actually... I want to be loud enough to the point where you can understand it, but not to the point where it rips. So he said that the bass player, he has a rule.
He got to wax his head every morning. That's a rule.
Yeah. And there's also this. I was looking back at the bit from Crisis where Lucifer's in it, and I scroll down and see this. Recap: King, 108k views in 2 days. A man is underestimated, but he turns out to be a more dangerous killing machine than probably the entire Russian mafia. That's nobody. That is one of the best movies released in 2021, right? It's not even a year old and you're already doing this crap. You are ruining cinema. Okay. This Twitter as of 22 past. When asked what Han Solo's favorite color is, Harrison Ford says, "I wish George Lucas would die." Has Harrison Ford gone senile or something? Also, why are you asking him what he thinks Han Solo's favorite color is? What kind of question is that? What's undervalued at KuCoin right now? I'm pretty much. Please don't come with Dino coins such as Dragon Coin. Interesting projects. Me about the recommend alt based on nothing but having them having a gold. That was terrible on my behalf. I am very sorry. Oh, sorry, just my back was hurting me a bit. I just signed the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act into law, making lynching a federal hate crime for the first time in American history. I didn't know lynching was legal. Can't believe I missed my chance. Your ancestors did it enough times? My brother in Christ, I'm Scottish. I don't know why I said that angrily, but whatever. You're still a dick for saying it? Yes. Girl pokes herself in a bikini. Guy replies, "Is that the moon? My brother in Yahweh, this is maidenless behavior. It's disgusting what you wrote. You should consider deleting it." I've considered it, and the answer is no. Should be a bummer if your YouTube channel got shut down. Yeah, shame you can't do that. I'm imploring you, one more time, on this day that Biden signs the anti-lynching bill into law today, I had to explain that to my black child. Please, I humbly ask, remove this post. No. I forgive you. My brother in Christ. Thank you. Darts finals tonight in second place by one game, playing the first place team. Third could also steal if we only win by one. Mad pressure. You have the physique for darts. People mad. It's not as big as the past couple arguments you've had over the couple days. Shame none of you can lynch me for this tweets. It's a crime now. When your child starts nursery, nobody tells you that to bring home every disease known to man. Sadie has the sniffles for a few days, yet I have a full-blown flu that is putting my balls. Not cough, tested every day. Judging by the replies, it looks like this is extremely common. Trust me, plenty of Scots who emigrated to America lynch votes. I'm half McDonald and grew up in Tennessee. I've seen plenty of racist folks of Scottish descent. Why are you commenting if you're going to try the weasel out by saying you're Scottish anyway? Babe, he's Scottish, as in he lives in Scotland. There were never any black slaves in Scotland. Go back and read my post again. I know he's Scot and pointed out that then I'm a reply. Yeah, but originally the News Blues guy, he was replying that to. He was replying was claiming. Alright, yeah, that's correct. His ancestors lynched people. He was saying he was Scottish. Proved the point that his ancestors probably didn't, because most people in Scotland were not lynching people. I proved that those of Scottish descent lynched people in America. Those people came from the Ops ancestors, or original Toasters ancestors. So it's a true statement. That's nice and all, but literally none of my own ancestors did, which was the point the guy made. So you can roll all that into a ball and stuff it up your ass. Top altcoins are holding in Y. No, my brother in Christ, you made a joke about lynching black folk. Stand by it. Be proud of it. It's who you are. So many stood with you, and some are going to lose their jobs today. Oh, I made the joke. That's not the point of contention. It's that my ancestors allegedly lynched people in the American South, meaning this guy doesn't know how ancestry works. Yeah, because unless, like, Mark's ancestors immigrated to America or whatever, lynched some black people, and then moved back to Scotland, or maybe, had children, and then those children, a couple generations down, moved back to Scotland, then those Scottish people in America that were lynching the blacks had, no relation to Mark. The fact that you have to explain that you're not racist after making a joke is actually disgusting. Of course, all comedians are pieces of crap who want to lynch and kill whoever they want because of jokes. People really want to make the excuse. Really want to make excuses to be mad. What are you talking about? Making lynching jokes is pretty screwed up, especially for someone who's from Scotland who hasn't experienced the American South. I've lived the majority of my 50 years in the South. It's not a joke. So maybe Mr. Scott needs to shut up. That sounds pretty. It seems pretty prejudiced against Scottish people. The flu is screwing me up. Post dogs. Yes, that's the good stuff. My favorite ones are the giant ones that look like they're on a diet of home invaders. So, Vanya Hargreaves from the Umbrella Academy is going to become trans in season 3 because the actor, Ellen Page, is trans. Only thing is, as soon as Ellen came out as trans, people were asking, will this affect the Umbrella Academy? Will your character become trans or anything like that? And she came back and said, no. What happened? Because, I wouldn't care if it weren't for the fact that Umbrella Academy is based off of something. It's an adaptation. But since it's an adaptation, despite the fact that, I didn't really become a fan of the Umbrella Academy comic until after I watched the show, it still pisses me off the fact that they're deviating from the comic in any way. Even though I believe that the show massively improves on the comic. But, just, Vanya is not trans in the comics. Hence, Vanya should not be trans in the show. And I know that, there'll be people who be like, oh, you're being so traditionalist, conservative, whatever. I don't care about the fact that Ellen Page is trans. If the show were not based off of a book, I would be fine with it. But since it is, they need to change it, especially since they're going back on what they said. Yeah, so House of the Dragon finally has an air date. I don't know if this was a previous air date and they've just had to delay it for whatever reason, or if it's just my tracker guessing, but my tracker even now says that it was going to air on the 3rd of April, I think. Let me just check my tracker. Because I was hoping to finish Game of Thrones before it aired, but I wouldn't if it was coming out on the 1st or 3rd, whatever. So... Oh, it was different. My tablet and my phone aren't synced for some reason. My phone's far behind. My phone says 3rd of April. Yeah, so there. House of Dragon, 3rd of April. And it's actually updating itself a bit because it used to be House of the Dragon on its own, but now since I watch Bloods, because it's an American app, it's putting on Bloods legally because whatever channel plays Bloods is doing it weekly, when over here it's released all at once. And they've also realised that Attack on Titan is going to be 28 episodes instead of 32, despite the fact that my phone always thought it was going to be 17, and then also NCIS. Cal Rittenhouse blasts Biden for not returning calls to sit down and talk. And before I read the tweets below, immediately my opinion was Cal shouldn't have blasted him. He should have just been like, so Biden has he's not returning my calls to sit down and talk. And that's it. You shouldn't have blasted him for it. Because now we have people on the left going, Cal Rittenhouse is complaining Biden will return his calls. My respect for Biden got higher. Kyle Rittenhouse is whining that Biden will return his calls. Ted Cruz complains that Biden won't talk to him. Rick Scott has heard that the White House hung up on him. These right-wing extremists betray our country and expect to be treated like royalty. Except, I don't know about Ted Cruz, Rick Scott, and actually just Ted Cruz and Rick Scott. But when it comes to Kyle, he's phoning the president because I don't even know, but most likely, Biden has talked about him because, the trial's such a big thing. So, and obviously Biden's going to go, he's clearly guilty. And obviously Kyle wants to call him up and say, Scott, why do you think I'm guilty? And just try to convince him that, he actually isn't guilty because guess what? Kyle Rittenhouse is innocent.